The Essential Atlas describes Brentaal IV as the most important piece of real estate in the galaxy, and in all honesty, that's pretty accurate. Brentaal IV was, of course, the site of one of the most important battles of the Clone Wars, which, if the Republic had lost, would have decided the fate of the war. The Republic fought tooth and nail to keep the planet when its claim came under question, and that shouldn't be a surprise, considering how important its location was. But what made the location of the Brentaal system such a crucial factor in the Clone Wars? We'll be answering that question today.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Some of the more casual Star Wars fans out there might not be familiar with Brentaal IV at all, so we'll give you some backstory on the planet. Brentaal IV was a planet in the Core Worlds, colonized by humans in the years before the Republic, which it helped found. The planet itself wasn't that remarkable. Much of the planet was covered by large polar ice caps, and the land between was mostly rocky and bare. Most of Brentaal's settlements were built along the walls of canyons because of this. But despite the planet's potentially undesirable conditions, it nonetheless became rich and important, as it was home to several families that controlled major shipping conglomerates. Perhaps the most famous resident of Brentaal IV was Freya Kalia, a woman who, against the wishes of her family, became a hyperspace scout. Her work led to the discovery of a massive hyperspace lane that led from Farana in the northeastern extreme of the galaxy to Lina Soph in the southwest, crossing almost the entire galaxy in the process. This route, which was named the Hydian Way after Bank Hydian, who played a crucial role in its forging, became one of the most important hyperlanes in the galaxy, and it cemented Bernardin's place as one of the Republic's most important worlds. But despite how important it was for the Republic, Brentaal IV began to lean separatist after the start of the Clone Wars. 5 months after the Battle of Geonosis, the warlord Shogar Tok incited a coup that toppled the planet's government, and he declared that Brentaal was to secede and join the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Fearing the implications of such a secession, the Republic immediately prepared an invasion force, which was led by several famed Jedi Masters, including Shaak Ti. The Republic plan to retake Brentaal IV was fairly straightforward. They would blockade the planet and lead a ground assault on Tok's fortress with gunship air support, cutting off the head of the Brentaal Separatist movement in one fell swoop. But the battle began to go poorly rather quickly. The Republic had made a severe oversight. They hadn't realized that Tok already had control of the planet's Magna Guns, powerful planetary defense ion cannons that were capable of shredding gunships in one shot. And the Magna Guns did just that. They cut through the Republic's gunship air support like a lightsaber would cut through paper, killing a Jedi Master and leaving the Republic's ground forces extremely vulnerable. Ultimately, it fell to Shaak Ti to win the battle, and she was forced to resort to drastic measures. She called all available clones to her position to execute a frontal assault on Tok's fortress. But when only 4 clones answered the call, the assault instead became an infiltration mission. Ti and the clones quickly discovered that the fortress was actually a prison, something she was intent on using to her advantage. The Jedi released the prisoners held in Tok's fortress on the condition that they fight for the Republic, and those that agreed included Jedi Knight Quinlan Vos, former Senate guard Sagara Autumn, and Lisha, a criminal who had murdered Shaak Ti's Padawan years ago. To cover more ground, the group split up. Sagara Autumn and Quinlan Vos were sent to take out Brentaal's Magna Guns, allowing the Republic to regain aerial dominance. At length, they were successful, thanks to Vos's Jedi skills and Autumn's own abilities. The one clone that had survived to this point was sent after the shield generator, but he was met with resistance and wounded in the resultant firefight. Luckily, the resourceful clone survived long enough to overload the power cells on his blast rifle, which destroyed the shield generator at the cost of his own life. Shaak Ti and Lisha, meanwhile, went after Shogar Tok. Ti expressed forgiveness toward Lisha for killing her Padawan all those years ago, but Lisha still did not trust her, and she ultimately betrayed the Jedi Master out of fear that she would kill her once the battle was won. Despite Lisha's betrayal, however, Shaak Ti still managed to kill Shogar Tok, successfully decapitating Brentaal's separatist government, and Lisha died shortly after as she tried to flee. The Republic military was able to swoop in thanks to Ti's success and capture the planet, and the battle was finally over. In light of Shogar Tok's rebellion, the Republic dealt with Brentaal rather harshly after the battle. A Republic military presence was maintained there until the end of the war, and after the end of the war when the Empire came to power. To fill the void that the battle created in Brentaal's government, the Republic brought in Gerard McLean to serve as a regional governor, a role in which he served for the next 25 years. His reign only ended when the New Republic took Brentaal from the Empire in one of the first major battles of the Galactic Civil War after the Battle of Endor, a battle that opened the door to the retaking of Coruscant. So why did the Republic, the Confederacy, and later the Empire and New Republic value Brentaal so highly? In a word, this was because of hyperspace lanes. Contrary to the beliefs of some, hyperspace isn't just some sort of fast travel system that allows you to go wherever you want. The galaxy is massive on a scale that can't easily be put into words, and even close planetary neighbors are very, very far from each other. And the space between them isn't all that empty. It was crowded with uninhabitable star systems, clouds of interstellar gases, and all manner of other obstacles. There were 400 billion stars in the galaxy, only a quarter of which had been properly surveyed by the time of the Empire. 180 billion of them had solar systems, and only 3.2 billion of them were theoretically habitable, with only about 1 billion actually being settled. That's a lot of uninhabited objects in between worlds. Fortunately for galactic civilization, hyperspace existed, and it allowed for easy travel between this comparatively sparse array of habitable worlds. Hyperspace was an alternate dimension that was tied to real space, into which all real space objects cast mass shadows. Scale was dramatically different in hyperspace than it was in real space, and so by jumping into hyperspace, ships could travel distances that would be impossible in real space very quickly. The one problem with this, of course, was mass shadows. The speed of hyperspace travel made it possible for non-force sensitive beings to steer through hyperspace, and because of how densely hyperspace mass shadows were packed, this meant that hyperspace travel was very dangerous. One wrong move and a ship would collide with the mass shadow of some star, planet, or other ship, causing plenty of destruction. The answer to this problem was hyperspace routes. Since the discovery of the hyperdrive, brave hyperspace scouts have made livings making a long series of tiny micro jumps across space, leaping blindly into the void in hopes of finding an efficient path between two worlds. This was, of course, extremely dangerous, which is why major scouts like Freya Kalia were held in high regard. Hyperspace routes were among the most important things for anyone with any sort of business that spanned more than one star system, and major routes have always been focal points for galactic scale wars. There were many major trade routes in the galaxy, from the Selenon Run and the Treeless trade route to the Utmian-Pabol and Ison corridor. 5 routes in particular were crucial. The first was the Polemian trade route, which ran from Coruscant out past the Tion cluster in what became the foundry of the Confederacy, which was the backbone of the early Republic and the reason that Coruscant became the heart of the galaxy. The Corellian trade route, which ran from Coruscant through the core and then out into the rim past Ryloth, was also very important, as was the Corellian trade spine, which ran from Corellia out into wild space down past Hoth. The Rimmer trade route, which ran from the Abrogado system in the southern core to the edges of the unknown out past Eridu, was a major part of the economic backbone of the CIS during the Clone Wars. The Hydian Way, the modern version of which crossed the entire galaxy from Bonadan to Limnasuf, was probably the most important of all. Brentaal IV, from the beginning, was important because of its hyperspace location, which lay on the Polemian routes. But the forging of the Hydian Way made it the most valuable location in the galaxy, as it was now the crossroads of the industrial backbone of the Republic and the most important trade route in the galaxy. The ruler of Brentaal could cut Coruscant off from the industrial worlds of the Polemian, or those industrial worlds off from Coruscant, cutting crucial economic lifelines. More importantly, controlling Brentaal would allow a faction to cut the Hydian Way in half, giving them significant influence along the axis of the galaxy. Whoever controlled Brentaal had a shot at controlling the entire galaxy. The Confederacy didn't necessarily need Brentaal, as its territory was clustered along the outer rim of the galaxy and was able to use other rim routes to offset Republic control of the Hydian and the Polemian. But the Republic did need Brentaal if its economy was to survive, and if the Confederacy took Brentaal, they might have won the war. First and foremost, it would cut the Republic off from the Polemian, which was the Republic's primary invasion route for attacks on the Confederacy's industrial heart. With control on the outer Hydian at both ends of the galaxy, the Confederacy would have been able to use Brentaal to seize control of the Hydian Way on a galactic scale, cutting the Republic cleanly in half. This would have been devastating for the Republic, and it's for that reason that Brentaal IV was so highly valued. So that's why the Republic was so adamant in defending Brentaal IV. But what do you think? Are there other worlds you'd like to hear our strategic analysis of? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comments section below. And just before you go guys, as per usual, please do check out all of those cool links in the description below. You can join our Geetsly's gaming network on our Imperial and Clone Wars Gmod servers, and you can join our Roblox servers, which are currently under reconstruction now. So if you want to meet other like-minded Star Wars fans, all those links in the description are for you. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.